Where is it? It's ours it is, and we want it.
So the Summer Games Fest has been and gone, and we didn't get an announcement of Elden Ring DLC. But that's cool. I'm totally doing okay. Let's discuss the DLC. Is it coming, and what could it be? This video is sponsored by our new members, Wombat in Combat and Moonbrook. Thank you for joining the membership program. If you're interested in the membership program, click that little join button down below. Let me know in the comments what you're expecting from an Elden Ring DLC. I don't think there's much point really discussing if a DLC is actually coming because as a business, Elden Ring has sold millions of copies. You'd be stupid not to make some DLC that people can purchase and make more money. It's just good business practice. So let's talk about the DLC. What could it be? Then we'll get into some theoreticals around when potentially we can expect it. Now, as this video is speculation, I can be vastly wrong about what the DLC could be. Maybe we'll just get horse armor for Torrent, who knows? I'd be cool with that anyway, honestly. So based on what other creators and the internet has really talked about, it seems highly likely that the DLC will revolve around Miquella. Lore isn't my strong suit, so if I get something wrong here, do correct me in the comments down below. Miquella is the twin brother of Malena and does appear in the game, if very briefly. But unfortunately, there is never a point where we actually directly meet him, and you find out that he was taken by Mogwin and tortured until he fell into a slumber and hasn't woken up since. When you defeat Mog, Lord of Blood, you can see Miquella's cocoon for yourself, and from it, we see a lifeless hand shown through the crack in the cocoon. It's never explicitly mentioned if he has died or is still alive, and there's many references to Miquella from his Halug tree to
Blade of Miquella.
Miquella is also said to be linked to Saint Trina, the god of slumber, or is the Saint Trina god of slumber. It's kind of grey there. So it's highly likely that he's just, having a good nap and he's going to wake up for the DLC. I think Miquella is the strongest candidate for the DLC content as we fought practically all of the other major power players in Elden Ring, all the other demigods and these big critical characters. He's the only one that I can think of that we haven't actually fought. But there is some interesting other theories about what we could be getting in DLC. Many people have pointed to the 6 Divine Towers and how their center point is covered by a cloud on the map, and if you actually travel there, it is missing a chunk. That chunk of the sea doesn't actually exist. The Divine Towers are such a critical part of the lore, it would make sense that at the center point where all these 6 towers converge, there would be something there, and it's also one of the only points on the map that is still covered by a cloud once you clear the entire map. There is also the 3 Colosseums in the game that are inaccessible. Lance McDonald, who does some interesting videos about cut content in Souls games, absolutely worth checking out by the way, has been able to access these areas, and they are really well crafted already with actual assets and layouts and everything. So at some point, maybe in the past in development or potentially in the future, these areas may be accessible. This would be probably a candidate for some kind of PvP arena style, like multiplayer expansion. I'll leave a link to the video of Lance McDonald's in the comments down below if you want to check it out. He also has some interesting videos about other cut content from the game that are to do with NPC quests. So potentially in expansions, these quests might actually come back and be put back into the game. These are really the main 3 potential ideas that we could possibly see in a DLC. But I mean, honestly, we could get something that's completely unrelated to all of this. We could even get a prequel DLC set before the Shattering, or something to do with Ranni and her moon. I personally would really be interested in expanding this stuff about Ranni and the body that she wears and the thing to do with her moon and her relationship with Rennala. That storyline was really interesting to me when I was playing the game, and I would like to see more about that. Or even the Shattering and her involvement in that, and the Night of the Black Knives, something to do with that history that is really affected the world that we live in. Potentially, maybe you talk to some character and you get blown back into the past, and you can go and explore and do different things back there. Like say the world is still, the same world, but it gets put back to, before the Shattering. So you see how things were before the Shattering. Be really interesting if something like that, but we really could see anything in a DLC. I really think the Saint Trina, God of Slumber, and Miquella is probably the most likely, as the Saint Trina weapon and Miquella just seems incomplete. It feels like there's supposed to be more there than just, a random couple of weapons and item descriptions and Miquella just having a good old nap in a cocoon. Honestly, I'm not really fussed as what we get. I just want to get more. I just want more DLC. Well, I mean, that's not true. I'm not interested in PvP at all. So a PvP arena wouldn't really satisfy me, but if that's what we get, then it's better than nothing. So when can we expect a DLC coming? Well, we can have a couple of solid guesses based on FromSoft's previous titles and their general kind of timelines to how they release games. So Dark Souls 3 released on the 24th of March 2016. The first DLC, Ashes of Arundel, was released released in October 25th, 2016. The second DLC, Ring City, came the next year, almost exactly a year later on March 28th. Ashen's was a shorter DLC, around 4 hours in length, so it's very easy to draw parallels with Elden Ring in terms of that time frame. And as Dark Souls 3 released in the first half of the year, just like Elden Ring, with the DLC following 7-12 months later, we can kind of see potentially what a time frame would look like. Bloodborne, on the other hand, was similar as well, released in March 2015, and the Old Hunters DLC released in November 2015. So really, based on these timelines, we're looking at something around October, November timeframe, something around that time. Potentially it could even be next year, depending on the size and scope of the DLC. You think about the size and scope of Elden Ring compared to, say, a Bloodborne or a Dark Souls. It is a much larger game in terms of scope, and so a DLC could take longer, but once you've got the groundwork together, it essentially wouldn't necessarily take so much longer, unless they're, going to do some big bombastic DLC that we don't see coming. Just with my own speculation, it personally makes sense to me that we would see something in the holiday period. Like, that's a perfect time to release DLC, just before the holiday period. Most of the major games being pushed back to 2023, so you want to get that out as soon as possible if you are Elden Ring and Bandai Namco. Considering Jeff Keighley let us down at Summer Games Fest, I would be expecting something potentially at the Tokyo Game Show in September. It's worth noting that FromSoft revealed their Bloodborne DLC at the Tokyo Game Show when that was announced, so we could see something in September. That's not very far away, and say you get the announcement in September for something coming in like October, November. That's a good marketing cycle time for the DLC. So I think that's probably the safest bet right now, but as with any video that you upload on YouTube, times will change, and who knows, I could be completely wrong. Maybe we won't get DLC for Elden Ring, but I highly doubt that we won't get anything for Elden Ring. Anyway, let me know in the comments down below what you're excited for Elden Ring DLC, if there is anything you think is coming and what it might be. Really interested to hear everyone's theories on this. Thank you for watching this video till the end. Thank you to our members for supporting the channel. My name is NorZZa, and I hope you have a great day.